Mr. Williams back with another segment of What Has COVID Taught You? Joining me today is a husband and wife team. They are usually behind the camera, but today I decided let's put them in front of the camera. James and Heather Jaros. Hey y'all, how you
doing? Good.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. And you know what, Heather? There is something about that t-shirt that you're wearing that is so fantastic.
It's amazing, right?
It is amazing. Thank you for supporting the Warrior brand and wearing it. So let's talk about the question at hand. And James, I'm going to make you go first. What has COVID taught you? Yes.
I think COVID has taught me to trust God. There's a lot of things, a lot of conflicting messages in the world right now. And, the further along we get along in life, I think the more I just think, I need to trust God and get in his word and listen to what he's telling me to do, not necessarily what the world's telling me to do. So I feel like that's been the biggest thing that has stood out to me during this time.
Heather?
All right. So it's taught me three things. Well, it's taught me multiple things, but the top three things I would say that it's taught me is the first thing is I have a serious peanut M&M addiction. So I need prayers, good vibes and thoughts because I'm trying to break that. The second thing that I think it's taught me is just be more grateful. Like my gratitude level has gone up tremendously. Like the things that I once complained about, even though I should have never been complaining about them, I'm like, I need them in my life. So anything that I thought may have been something that irritated me or something that was like, I had to go out of my way. I'm like, no, I want to do that. Can I please do that? And then it really, really, really brought my relationship with God much further along than it was. Like, you think you're at this particular spot and you think you're good, like me being raised in church and like, I've never not been in it. But I guess I realized that I wasn't really in that deep of a relationship as I needed to be. And so it's really pushed that forward for me.
That's wonderful. So what about your children? Because I know you have 3 daughters and then you guys have been in the house all together. And I know you are a relatively very close family, but being locked down in the house with COVID was a little bit different.
Right. So the teenagers are still alive, so that's good. So basically it's been fine. We've all just gotten closer. We've learned a lot from each other. They've actually learned a lot of like pitching in, I guess, more so than they did before because they realized the kind of toll that has taken on us. And the 2 big girls are still doing school virtually, but we ended up moving the little one to a different school so she could be in person because that's not my ministry and I cannot do that. I mean, we've actually been fairly busy because, working at the church, we didn't really have any time off. If anything, we had to work harder because we had to up our game because we had to be everything online.
Yeah.
So
everything was filmed and all that. So a lot more editing and shooting and stuff.
So I know you guys, James, you work out together. We've seen amazing videos of Heather's working out. But it's something about when you join the video, James, that just takes the entertainment level up from here to here. So, how's that been?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, working out. It's great. That's what I keep telling myself. Maybe one day I'll like it. But if you've seen pictures from 4 or 5 years ago to now, I am quite a different person and. Luckily, my oldest teenager likes to remind me a lot of where I used to be, of the man that I used to be, who looks kind of like Mr. Magoo. But like I said earlier, you got to trust the process. You got to trust God. He gets me through it. But I am a better person. I think for it.
It is not that bad, okay? Working on is not that bad.
So let me talk about something that's been a little bit, because we know how difficult COVID has been, but in the midst of COVID, we had such racial turmoil that was happening in our country. And it's been difficult kind of dealing with the two simultaneously. No matter how deep you are in your faith, it shakes it in some ways. So how did you as a family deal with that as a couple and with your kids? Or is that something you kept away from them?
No, they've, it's always been right in their face, honestly. We've really tried to just make them aware of whatever situation as much as we could. We don't want them to live in a bubble when it comes to certain things. I mean, yes, I want my kids to be in a bubble. You know, I want them to not have to deal with a lot of the worldly things that are going on. And it freaks me out. A lot of it does freak me out. But because of the fact that I can't keep them with me forever, I have to introduce them to certain things and let them know what's going on, and we discuss it just so that they are prepared when they step out into the world. And I think the biggest thing that he and I do when it comes to stuff like that is we try our hardest to just teach our kids and to show our kids that just every day you have to walk in love. And you can't do anything unless you're walking in love. And if you find yourself not doing that, you kind of have to check yourself. Nobody's perfect. I mean, you know, everybody has negative thoughts that creep in, and everybody's judgmental. You can say you're not all day long, but you judge every single person you come across. You just do. Yeah. Even if it's a kid, that's just a snap thing in your head. And I just try to tell them, you know, just think of it, you know, if they were looking at you, you know, how would you want yourself to be reflected? How would you want them to come across? Not to sound cliche and crazy, but like really think about it from how Jesus would see it. Like the way that he tried to treat people and the way that he tried to show that you're just supposed to walk alongside people, you know. That's the best we can do. That's the best really I think anybody can do. And just really pray about it and pray about every situation that's going on. All I can do is say, you know, just please help the world and do whatever it is that needs to be done to make it better.
One of the things that my dad taught me was that the word all actually means all. So, you know, it says we've all come short of the glory of God and that we're supposed to love everyone. So that's one of the things that I try to push is like, no matter what side you are on any of the situations, whether it be COVID or race or any of those things, we're supposed to love everybody. We're supposed to treat everybody with respect. And I would want to be respected. So even if I've never met the person, I'm going to try to give them respect and love them and do what I can to be a better part of society. So I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Just love, man.
Love. That is, if we start with that, what do you hope that you will carry on once COVID is over and we get back to our normal? But then I realized I don't know how soon normal will be and if COVID is ever going to quite go anywhere. So it's more like, how are we transferring our lives into the new normal with COVID? So what do you hope that you will keep, that you've learned in this experience as you move forward in life?
Wow, let's see. What would I want to keep from this experience? I think as long as we can just realize what all we have and how important it is. Like, for instance, there are certain things that I don't have to worry about because I don't have any underlying health conditions, because I am blessed to be able to move my body. And how many people actually are grateful for that? The only people that really think about that are the people that don't have that ability. They're the ones that are like, man, if only I could, if only I was, if, you know. But when I see all these other people who have to worry about certain things that I don't have to worry about, and right now it's really in our face because of the pandemic, it makes me grateful that I don't have to worry about those things. My kids don't have to worry about those things. He doesn't have to worry about those things. You know, we don't really have anybody that's right up close to us that have to worry about this. And I'm just like, that's amazing. I mean, I know I was already like a healthy-ish person before, but it really just makes me want to get in people's faces that are capable and be like, why are you sitting there? If you can move your body, if you don't want to do it, get up and do it for the person that can. You know, don't disrespect what you've been given. You know, I hope a lot more people come out on the other side wanting to do the best that they can for their body.
James?
I think mine is probably motivation. You know, right now with work getting smaller and just all of the things that have kind of happened to us, you know, my motivation has kicked in a lot. Like, I got to do whatever I got to do to survive. So I feel like some of that, like, I hope I will never lose that drive, that push to stay healthy, to provide for my family, those kind of things. I think, you know, the way things were, you know, there was a ton of work and there was a ton of opportunity to work out and there was a ton of opportunity to do whatever. And then now that it just kind of got funneled down to being real streamlined, I think I hope I keep that drive and just move forward constantly.
James and Heather Jaros, thank you so much for being a part of this segment. What has COVID taught you? We thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.